Coach Maggie, certified health and lifestyle coach. And today we are finally into December. It seems like it takes all year when you first get that calendar. December is so far away, and here we are. And so today I want to talk about not getting overwhelmed and setting some boundaries. This is especially important because in December, there's so much going on. Of course, we have the holidays, we have all of the Christmas parties. Maybe for your kids or your grandkids, there are the school specials and pageants and band concerts, church cantatas and plays, and you name it. There is a ton of things, not to mention company parties, community parties, just things, holiday shopping. All of that is fun, but it can be overwhelming and it takes its toll on our health. And so when we think about setting boundaries, it at least gives us somewhat of a parameter. For you, it may mean that you decide, okay, we need to all be home on Wednesdays or Fridays. We need to have those times where, as a family, maybe it's just you, or maybe it's a couple, or a family of several children. But we need to have those boundaries because otherwise things tend to spiral out of control. If we're saying yes to everything, then we're really taking away from the time for ourselves. And that's easy for that to happen. And again, even if you're single, a lot of times it's like, but I want to be out with people. And that's wonderful. I enjoy that time too. I love being social and being places. But we also need those times just for ourselves. I know I did a bunch of shopping before Thanksgiving, and it was a combination. My oldest had a birthday on Thanksgiving, so it was birthday shopping, Thanksgiving shopping, doing some Christmas shopping. And again, it can not only tire us out and wear us out, it can really start affecting how we sleep because our mind is reeling about all of those things we have to do. If we don't plan, guess what? We're going to be snacking all the time, eating on the run because, well, we didn't plan dinner. And that's fine here and there. But it's easy for this month to be continually where you are eating out, snacking. And of course, this is also the month where people are bringing in all of those, wonderful devilish snacks and desserts and, all of those things that we don't normally eat. So all the more, it is so, so important that we're taking time. Again, we're setting those boundaries. And the same with TV. We're in the middle of, all these tournaments, basketball, football, there's golf and tennis, all of the things. But again, if we're trying to do all of the things, we end up being the loser and often our family. So again, set those parameters, set those boundaries where we're going to have certain nights that we're not going to do any of that. Okay? Yes, there's this special on TV, there's this concert, but pick and choose the things that really matter the most. Make sure that you're making time for those family members, for those friends to do those things. Now, if you've been out shopping, you notice prices are higher. A lot of the same things that we bought, maybe even earlier in the year, not to mention last year, are higher. So let's make sure we are getting out and doing the shopping. It may mean that we have to put the brakes on. My husband just last night asked, how much have you spent so far? And I grabbed the receipts that I have so far, tallied them up, and he was like, well, guess what? This is what you have left. And it really wasn't, in my mind, enough. So sometimes we have to put the brakes on because, again, this is the reality. We are in new times, new days. And again, prices have jumped. I'm sure you've noticed with gas. So people are doing less. It is not bad necessarily. And honestly, it might be a good thing. Because when we're not careful, each year we're trying to top the previous year. and it puts pressure on us to spend more, to buy more. And maybe it's time that we start reining in and saying, I'm not going to do that because the holidays are far more than all of the number of boxes under the tree. You may be working on travel plans. Again, all of these things can equal stress. And when we have stress, we tend to stress eat. It affects our sleep. It affects relationships. We go to work cranky. It just snowballs. So again, we have to set boundaries. And again, not just the holidays, but as we reach year end, thinking about, have I made my goals? Have I reached those goals? Have I done the things that I really set out to do? Whether it's with family, whether it's work related, maybe it's savings in the bank. You thought you'd be further along. But again, higher prices, things have affected you differently. What about your health? Do you feel as good as you did in January or worse? I know this is, again, a time of, because again, stress has a way of really getting you to focus because all of a sudden you realize the aches and the pains and the things that maybe you just sort of pushed to the side. But now all of a sudden you can't avoid them because the stress actually magnifies those things. The end of the year, I did this last year, I offer a 30-minute strategy session. And you determine what you want to talk about. I send out a questionnaire prior that you fill out. And maybe you just see, boy, we're just not eating right. So it could be that in that strategy session, it's simply talking about how to get the family on board for eating better going into 2022. Maybe for you, you're like, wow, I'm just more tired than usual. I have let things go. I know a lot of the things I should be doing, but I'm just not doing them. Can you help me? And yes, I can. And then it's a matter, again, 30 minutes obviously isn't a ton of time, but because you do a little bit of the footwork ahead, then we just talk about a few tips, a few strategies as a place to start. So you don't go into 2022 going, I don't have a clue. Maybe you're at the other end of the spectrum where you really don't have a clue, but you just need to get on that call just to say, I need help. Can you at least get me started? And that's the beauty of this. There's no further obligation. There's no high pressure. That's not me at all. For some of the people that got on last year, they just needed that little time to talk things through, to have a place to start and to go. Others said, oh, I do need more. I realize I'm just not getting this done. So depending on where you fall, that is totally your choice. But it is an opportunity to talk things over, to see, okay, what's not working, and to see if there are some better options. So there's a link. You can check it out. Go to my website. There's a page. Schedule a time. And I'm sure it'll go over 30 minutes, but schedule a time where we can talk. And then again, I will send you the questionnaire. These are wonderful days. I love December. I do. But it also can be a very stressful time. So make sure that you are setting those boundaries for you and your family. And especially if you have others in your family, you may need to put the hammer down and say, no, we can't do it all. I know sometimes when we have a young family, we feel like we've got to go to everything. But make sure that you're making time for you and your family. You're taking care of yourself. We're going into winter. And with that stress, it makes you more susceptible to get sick. So again, that's the last thing that we want this time of year or going forward. So it breaks down our immune system, and then everything goes downhill from there. So if I can help in any way, I would love to do that. So be blessed as we go into a wonderful time, the most wonderful time of the year, but only when you are healthy know where you're going. So, again, take care, be blessed, be a blessing, be generous, be giving of your time, your talents. But again, make sure that you are setting boundaries and stay on that budget. Your family will be blessed because of it.